Thank you, everybody, for clicking the button and tuning in to see hashtag, from what we've understand, handsome. I am Jason Swinchuck, as the tag says. That over there must be Matthew Mounts, as his name tag says. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Like I'm actually like I don't know, I've been in a very good mood in the last few days, like way better than what I have been in a while. And I don't know. I'm just enjoying the wave right now, you know?
Yeah. I'm on that too. I'm on like a 2-day wave.
Yeah, it's
of
weird.
Like, man, I had a great, got my hair cut, had a met a policeman at the barber shop and had a fantastic conversation with this dude over the legalities of marijuana and the laws and everything. But it was a good like we both were like in good spirits. I had a great conversation with this guy. Today, got a lot done, spent a lot of time outside with my dog, and I was cleaning my garage. She was there with me, and we were putting our notes together for this wrestling show we do. And I was just thinking, man, what? I have had a good 2 days. I'm on a roll. Mass Effect Legendary Edition comes out tonight at 12 a.m. I'll be playing it, so I'm excited for that. But we're not here for any of that stuff, Matt. We're both good. We're both on waves, but people want to know, that place in Connecticut. It feels like a chore to talk about them. It feels like a chore to talk about the World Wrestling Entertainment, sports entertainment. But what do you have this week?
So there's actually quite a bit that I have, but it's not anything directly related to one show or just WWE in general. Did you see? I mean, I'm sure that you saw that the Daniel Bryan contract expired. Literally the day that he gets thrown off of SmackDown, his contract expires, and he has not yet stated where or if he's coming back to WWE or where he may go in the future. And I personally feel like Daniel Bryan being Daniel Bryan, and how much you hear how he loves wrestling and he loves being a performer, and that's what he wants to do. I really feel like he's done everything in WWE that he can do. And I think he's looking for greener pastures. I think he's going to do a New Japan or a AEW thing for a little while, or something to that effect. I don't see him going back to WWE and just being a full time, I'm going to be here and I'm going to do this and whatever. There's nothing else left for him to do. What do you think of that?
I believe Daniel Bryan's them over the last 2 years, 3 years, really letting him back into the ring was only because of of AEW. That's the only reason I believe they did anything with him. They don't long term want to do anything because of his back. I think wholeheartedly, whatever it is, their doctors don't like it, and legally, that's why they have those medical professions, because everybody has to have a doctor here, and we're going to decide what's the best to do for an individual. I don't know if his back, whatever the back is. I'm generally not interested in Daniel Bryan at all. I think he's weird. I think that he went into John Cena's house and disrespected Mr. Cena's rules for dinner time. Okay. Yeah. I feel that he would immediately come into my house and take his socks off. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like Daniel Bryan would do. And then grow vegetables in my backyard. What? Okay. I just feel it he's not genuine. I don't get a genuineness of him. I hope he doesn't hurt himself. If he would come to AEW, great, or wherever, great. I'm sure he's I think I could find some entertainment in him, but I'm just really, hey, if he goes away forever, I go, he disrespected Mr. Cena's house.
See, I
I'll never
I
forgive
feel
him for
like
that.
Daniel Bryan's one of those wrestlers where if he went somewhere else, it would be a shock and surprise for about the first week that he was there, and then it would just be like, okay, it's Daniel Bryan. He's gonna do his thing, whatever. And like him leaving WWE, like, and I know like a lot of like people who like WWE, that's like the gold standard, like is Daniel Bryan, like he's such a good worker and whatever. But you can't say he's the best worker in the business whenever everybody else in the business that he's in isn't actually working. So, like it's not hard to be the best worker in WWE if you show up and you do a match every week. You know what I mean? Like you go into AEW, you're talking about guys that are like, I don't know. Like I feel like the talent level in AEW is a lot different than the talent level in WWE. And maybe it's because of the restrictions that are put on them or whatever. Because like I watched a match, which we're gonna get into, like Will Ospreay.
Well, again, now let's get into the area of AEW is professional wrestling. You can't. Yes. You're never going to find. You're comparing an apple to an orange and saying it's kind of both fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the end of the day, it's still always going to. But remember, it's two different products now. We have to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we have to clearly define. And I don't think it's fair to judge wrestling entertainment on pro wrestling standards and vice versa, though.
Well, that's what I was saying. And I know Daniel Bryan has made it like very clear in like interviews and stuff that he wants to be a pro. He wants to like go back to pro wrestling, not so much the sports entertainment part of it, but he wants to, he loves being a pro wrestler, and that's what he wants to do.
There's two things about, I want to say something when you were going to go back to about the workers. And then about the money in WWE and pro wrestlers. Remind me to loop back to that pro wrestlers comment. But first of all, I don't know if, all these guys out here that say this person works hard or like, I'm a Daniel Bryan supporter because there's no one on that roster. First of all, every performer and every employee in WWE or in any pro wrestling company is probably a hustler and they work hard. Guarantee, even the people you suck are sweating their ass. Like, and I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking these guys out here that pretend to like he deserves a push. Or you don't know what's going on. You don't know. The guy could be happy, but here's what I don't like. And circling back, so we can't say who works hard and who is. I always say who entertains me the most. But when we talk about these guys, well, I'm a pro wrestler. That's a big thing, Stone Cold does ask them, are you an entertainer or are you a pro wrestler? And they all say, I'm a pro wrestler. Then I say, well, boy, ain't you? I used to say, yeah, I understand people going to the WWE and taking the big paycheck. And then I think, I'm 42, and how much is enough? I could go suck another company's ass and go work for someone full. I work for myself now, and you know that. I could go back and do and be secure, but I why would I be happy with that? If I'm not truly happy, that leads to stuff like depression, anxiety. I would take any amount less to go be with my friends, have fun with a product. And as of this week, when we were discussing, is these other places doing good? They're breaking rating records now.
Yeah.
So I hate when the guys are in WWE and they're saying, well, wink, wink, I'm a pro wrestler. No, you're not. You kiss Vince's ass to take his big paycheck and you run your name down. And I'm kind of getting fed up with people up there coming down like, oh, let me go reestablish myself. And I love Christian back working, but coming from up there, get that Royal Rumble paycheck first, though. I'm down here. I'm gonna reestablish. And I took Big Show, but I ain't gonna take them all. Go up there and take your big paycheck and let Vince and you have your hemp belt and do your Daniel Bryan Bella thing. And I don't know. I'm sorry if I ranted on him. I'm sorry, Matt.
No, like everything you're saying, I agree with. Like I know, like me and you, we have a lot of differences as far as like what we like and what we don't like, and that's good. But on this, I think
that's what makes this show work. That's the key two ingredients.
But I think that we see eye to eye on this part of it.
And then the savory.
Yeah.
Where are you at? You're the savory.
I think that I agree with what you're saying, though. I don't think that, I think that for him, just him in general, I'm not classifying every wrestler that's going to go from WWE to AEW or whatever. I think for him, I think it's one of those situations where he went to WWE to collect that paycheck, get his money out there, get his name out there as big as he could, which he did. And I think now he thinks, okay, well, if I go to AEW, he's at the end of his career. Let's face it, he is. With the injuries that he's had, the concussions that he's had, he's at the end of his career.
I don't know.
So
I don't know if he is. His doctors don't agree with that.
Yeah, so, but I mean, who knows? So, my opinion of it is and I think that with him specifically, I think he wants to go and see if he can still go at a level that a pro wrestler is going to go at, not the level that WWE dictates for him. I think that's the only reason that he would leave and go somewhere else.
The only reason I would like to see him is to I've never saw him in the indie circuit. The first time I ever saw him was when he debuted in the Nexus faction.
Yeah.
And then he was gone for a while because he, I don't know, did something right at an invasion or something, and then he was gone, and then he came back, the GOAT thing, and the next thing you know, he's a star. That's what I remember. I'm like, that little guy's back. I would like to see what he can really do in the ring. I don't want him to see him hurt himself, and I don't believe any there's no other smaller promotions, and by all means, I understand that AEW is always going to be a smaller. When I say the smaller ones, I'm talking about the Impact. The territories now is what I'm going to refer to them. I trust in them that they would, if he's not. I also think that he would be a great home for anybody because he's Bryan Danielson. He can't take his real name off of him. He can go and be a great announcer, and he did the Cruiserweight Classic. The guy was great play-by-play.
Oh yeah,
and there's homes for him. This guy could pass on the greatest lesson from Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker is pass on what you've learned. That's the ultimate life lesson that we all can do. And there's many, but you know what? Does Jason Swinchoff get excited and dance around if he comes? No.
I mean, the other thing with WWE, I watched a couple more of those biographies.
Yeah.
Those were pretty cool.
My cousin Chad and I had a conversation about one of the ones from the last episode. He said he watched the Piper and he watched the Macho Man.
Yeah.
And he hasn't watched our last episode yet. He's watching it this week to catch up. And I said, you watched him. I haven't watched him yet. I will. But he was saying about how, the Hulk Hogan call, the Roddy. And I remember that when Roddy passed, I remember that coming out because they were trying to figure out when Roddy died or whatever. And it was putting the pieces together. And Hulk had this voicemail that was from beyond the grave. I remember that. That was spooky. Yeah. And then I remember about the slight conversation him and Randy kind of made up, and because my cousin Chad said Randy was another good one, and how Hulk, kind of was he wishes it kind of would have a little been better with him and Randy, but they were always on and off friends. But the bio, they're hot, man. He said everything, every A&E is basically 24/7 WWE right now.
It is.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love. Okay, great.
Dude, I want to tell you what, though, that Randy Savage one. Whenever I was growing up, Randy Savage, watching him in WCW, that, I don't know what it was about Savage, but Savage was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah, dig it. Dude was just he just had everything that I just thought he was the coolest guy, man. And that biography, the one thing that I can say about it that I really did not like is they painted him in such a way that they painted him as this overbearing, I get his character was like this with Elizabeth, but they said, well, at one point they said that he would lock her in his locker room, and she wasn't allowed to talk to anybody or come out of the locker room. And it's like, okay, well, you got to think the locker rooms back whenever they were doing this is not as safe as locker rooms that are available today. There's a big difference between the two. You know what I mean?
Well, we're looking at this point 40 years in our history, and we've come a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Randy may have had some misogynistic bleed over from real life onto Elizabeth, and that's probably documented. And I believe later on, I think Randy really came to, like, they forgave each other. Like, there was a point where him and Elizabeth were okay, and he brought Elizabeth to WCW and put her in the NWO.
Yeah.
And for them to work, they were divorced when they worked at Hwangle.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole time. And I think that she also, I think Randy grew up a lot after that. He might have been psycho, but do they talk about the fact that he was also a fantastic baseball player?
Yes, they talk about it in the very beginning. Actually, one of my notes that I had was, I want to know your feeling of Lex Luger, because I know what my feeling on Lex Luger is. And like, this ties into the Randy Savage like documentary, because like Luger actually talks about the situation with Elizabeth. In my opinion, he's not very he's not very like empathetic towards the fact that she died. He's just kind of like, well, I didn't put the drugs in her. She did it herself. Well, I was there, but it wasn't my fault. Like, you know what I mean? Like the guy just like, I don't know. Like we talked about Austin, right? Yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin, and how I said, like, as a person, he was just not a very good person. This guy is like the epitome of like just a fucking worm to me, dude. Like, and I like, I'm sorry, to swear like that.
Have you seen him in the past 20 years?
Dude, he looks terrible.
I know.
Every interview I've ever watched of this guy, and they mention Elizabeth, he's like, well, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. I didn't force her to do it. Like, no, dude, but before she got with you, she didn't do any of this stuff.
I know, but hold on. He was brought to charges on this.
Yeah.
Right. And he was let go. He was like, whatever. It wasn't, I don't know what, or did he serve time or not? Whatever. He was found not guilty of this. So legally, he probably has to take that stance because everyone asks him. And he probably has to have a statement from his lawyer, and he has to say that.
Yeah, but
also, if the man was guilty of any shenanigans, okay, take a good look at what. Let me tell you something. People want to say this and that about Lex Luger's ring work. Listen, he didn't need ring work. He had Hogan-esque charisma. He couldn't cut a promo. Didn't need to. In the ring, if I was a Hollywood Hogan fan, if he had to put the title on the line tonight against Flexi Lexi, I knew that was a legitimate threat. And I was like, there's a problem. This Flexi can take it all. And you didn't want a bionic elbow hit, and the rack would put you out. So I know this much. If there isn't a karmic justice, the shell of the man he is now, and he's turned to God, as most people do as they approach. They get a little more because, I'm afraid of the afterlife.
Yeah.
But if he means it, my heart to him, if he means it, and I got to go with the law. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. I wasn't there. I know this much. I don't make you do drugs. If I have a pile of drugs here, okay, and me and you are doing some drugs, and you go, is that my fault?
No.
The court may say, if I bought it and provided to you, the court may say.
Well,
but she was a grown-ass woman, and he was a grown-ass man, and behind closed doors, it's none of my business.
No, and I agree with you on that. And it's not the fact that he says it wasn't my fault. You can say it wasn't your fault, but show some empathy towards the person who died, because this is somebody who like literally gave her life to be with you. You know what
Well,
I mean?
if he's a Christian man, and he, like he says he is, and he's still saying that, it sounds there's still some hatred there. I don't know.
So the other documentary that I watched was, and we're gonna get a little bit emotional here because this is a big, like this is.
Listen, if I'm gonna cry,
Listen,
I'm gonna
man.
cry. I'll get my eyes.
Hey, listen, man.
I'll put my glasses back on so you can tell.
This is something that's really like near to my heart because like as a kid, I watched him go from a tag team champion, like from a tag team to a tag team champion to a WCW champion, and then go into the WWE and become a champion there too. And that's Booker T. Like, dude, they got into like some really serious, like his backstory is incredibly sad. I mean, oh.
And I know this about him. He runs that charity wrestling promotion.
Yes.
With his wife.
Yep.
And they spent a lot of time. He started, I think, when like somewhere mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Right before his TNA run. And I always thought that was super admirable. And I wasn't a Booker T fan in WCW.
Dude. I've always loved him.
Because I didn't care for Harlem Heat because I was a NWO guy. So but now later when Booker, now Booker's fake run in the NWO and up there, but I liked Booker when he went because he was the crazy 5-time Booker. I liked King Booker. I liked Booker in the Main Event Mafia when he still had that accent. Like I love that African King accent he did. Oh, the book, I love it.
No, the really like, and this goes into like way back before he was ever a wrestler or anything else. Like he never knew his father because his father passed away. He, whenever he was 13, his mother worked the night shifts at a hospital, and she made sure that she was at home to give her kids breakfast in the morning and put them off to school. She made sure that she was there to put them to bed at night. And like the reason that's so close to me is because my mom was the same way. Like she was a single mom. She did the same thing for 2 kids. She had 5 kids. Booker T's mother did, that she was doing this for. And when he's 13 years old, his mom passes away. And he goes and lives with his sister who, she's young. She's doing her thing. She's selling weed. She's doing whatever, and he had no direction in life whatsoever once his mother passed away. Like he completely just went and did what he needed to do to survive. And he's like, he goes, because I don't think that once in my life did I ever hear anybody say they were proud of me or that they want to know what I wanted to be whenever I grow up. I don't think anyone ever asked me what I wanted to be whenever I grow up, and and he went to
you know what? No one's ever asked me what the hell I wanted to be when I grew up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd ask me now. I don't know. If I'd say talk bullshit with some bullshit with some dudes over wrestling.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, just check that off the list. Boom. Right? Yeah.
And so he whenever he's like 18, 19, him and a buddy of his work at Wendy's, right? And this manager that they just didn't like this manager because he gave him shit all the time. So they went and robbed Wendy's 26 times. 26 times they robbed these Wendy's and where they live.
I knew he robbed some. And how old was he? 18?
He was like 18 or 19, I think.
18 or 19.
And
I knew he had robbed something, and I didn't know it was that. Jeez.
Yeah, 26 Wendy's.
26.
At gunpoint. So
let me tell you something. How long ago was that too?
Oh, very long.
And listen, he's lucky he's alive.
Yeah.
And we're all lucky that he was lucky enough to be alive that he would be able to entertain us all those years later.
Absolutely.
Straighten himself up.
He goes to jail for 5 years, right? Whenever he goes to jail for 5 years, he basically, while he had never got his GED, he had never graduated high school, he never really did anything with his life that wasn't like, because he lost his mother at a young age. So if he wanted to go to school, he went. If he didn't go. He just did whatever he wanted. So while
That
he's
sounds like
in,
how John Moxley was raised. And
yeah,
since John Moxley when you ask him, he said sounds exactly like he was raised. Like, I
yeah,
don't know. Do whatever we
he
want.
so Booker T, while he's in jail for the 5 years he's there, he goes and gets his GED. He starts like getting into like learning and like really diving deep into himself and getting himself prepared for what he's going to do whenever he leaves. Like he wanted to be able to get out of prison and then never go back to prison, you know? And he said while he's walking out of the jail, there's a guy in a big cowboy hat because he's in Texas on a horse. And the guy says to him, "I'll see you when you get back." He said at that point in his life, like he made a conscious decision. I'm never going back to jail. Like this is not going to happen for me. Like I'm going to go and make my life the way it needs to be. So whenever he gets out of jail, Stevie Ray or Lash, which is his brother, like gets him a job doing security. Ironically enough, he's a security guard, and they get wind that he had been in jail for 5 years, so they have to let him go, right?
Yeah.
So the owner of the security company also owned a self-storage area, tells him, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll hire you on to run the self-storage area and clean out things, keep track of it, whatever." In the process, him and Stevie Ray decided, well, I can't remember the exact thing, but they end up getting into wrestling, and basically is what happens. Well, they didn't have enough money to pay the instructor to do the schooling for wrestling school.
Right.
So the owner of the self-storage unit that he was fired from the security job for says, "Listen, I have the money and the means to back you guys. If this is something you really want to do and you're really going to make a go at this, I'll pay for you to go to wrestling school." So his boss essentially just gave him the money to go to wrestling school. And then, the rest is history. Here you go. There's Booker T, the 5-time, Spinner Rooney champion. And like, here it is, and like, dude, it was like that one there. That was one of those, like, it was like a Roddy Piper. Like it was a feel good kind of,
that's what I like, man.
Kind of thing, man.
Booker T, one of the very rare, he was one of the, I won't say succeeded fully, but he did succeed. He did find some success in the WWE after WCW folded. Yeah. So, I think they did use and abuse him for a while. When he lost to Triple H, I mean, come on. After he stomped Triple H down, basically you and Ric Flair race in a racist angle, and then he loses, and we go. That was when Triple H was on that like 5-year tear where he just never lost ever.
I mean, they also bring Sting in and then completely, destroy him. So like, let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah, but Booker, I get, he was one of those ones. I was happy. I wanted him to stay in TNA, but then he went back to WWE. You got to get your legends. You got to get your legends Hall of Fame. I get it. But anyway, enough about wrestling. Sports entertainment and the universe that entails. I wanted to quickly get into some AEW things and talk about fast. Then we got to get to Will Ospreay, so I'm going to move through AEW fast. Okay, I want to get to Ospreay and some New Japan because the Cup. It's a good time for us to talk about the 2021 Cup. And then we're going to get to my trivia at the end. My 5 questions, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and see if I can do any. If I can do any good right now, there's 0 on the scoreboard, folks. That we'll get to it. We'll tell them the rules later. I'm so excited. Anyway, AEW. Us having a conversation last week, and you saying, you don't like what they're doing and this and that, and I said, well, hold on, let it just stew and marinate. And I know this much: they broke ratings, as you heard MJF say. All right. I feel that this was, if not one of the best Dynamites of all time, one of the best wrestling shows from beginning bell to end bell. that I have seen in the past 30 years on television. It echoed back to the Clash of Championships days, those pay-per-views that WCW would put free on the Turner networks. Mox and that match, the Wild Things entrance. Yuji, ain't seen you since WCW days. The man hasn't aged. The respect at the end of that match got chills. Cody Rhodes' promo, if you're not an American, if this man cannot make us white people understand the African American plight a little bit more, and he got a lot of that into that promo. His daughter's going to be mixed, you know. He worked that in. He worked some flaws in our American. He made it patriotic. He made it personal. He brought tears to my eyes. Great promo. I love how we're slowly start sprinkling in all the double or nothing matches. I just wish we didn't do it all on one night, Joe, because everyone got the memo. Here, make sure you work here. And I would have just said, hey, guys, how many more weeks we have to go to this? Let's not do them all tonight. Let's because it looks like everyone got a memo. Hey, sometimes throughout the night, work your double or nothing match in. I love the deliveries of everybody working their double or nothing matches. Hangman did it cool. I like the Dark Order with him, and I usually hate the Dark Order. I'm sad SCU is no longer. Oh, wow. That's
I want to stop you there.
Yeah, you're happy they're gone? I'm sad.
No, that makes me really upset. And what made me more upset about them losing that match was the fact that they didn't even give them the time in the ring to say goodbye.
Irritated
the hell out of me.
You know what? I was thinking, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to take back my 10 out of 10. You're right. Because I was hesitant on writing that last night. I really was. Because was that whole shenanigans in the elite? And listen, if more elite than that, the better. But you heard Tony Schiavone say, wait a minute, well, don't cut away yet. There's something going on here. And I'm thinking big shenanigans, and it's Eddie and Mox. And I go, okay, that's cool, but then listen, they did recap and say, here's what we missed. And they showed,
but that should have been
those two. Let me tell you something. Those two boys had the time of their life, and they just put their best friends over as the biggest heels of all time. Those two are all going in the back and having a great drink, and I say bravo.
Oh, yeah.
Daniels wants to move to more of he loves his job in the back. You can see it. Yeah. He loves coaching these guys, and he's so respected. He's not like these cocky coaches at NXT where these guys immediately drop and give me 3,000 bumps. Daniels is a cool dude and loves what he does. And Frankie's doing the same thing and has a time of his life.
But, my like I said, my big issue with it was, if you were going to do the Mox Eddie Kingston thing, why couldn't you waited 2 minutes so they could have just gave a hug?
It was bad. It was bad It was just bad production at that time.
It was.
That was just something. You could hear the miscommunication, and you're right.
Yeah.
I will say that was the only flaw at night.
I don't know if that was the only flaw, but yeah.
Well, it was, because then at the end of the night, you got your wish, but I don't know if the record-breaking people that tuned in the week before got theirs, because Darby is without. So I know that you're happy. My friend Adam is happy. Good time Adam card collecting is happy. You're happy.
I'm not happy.
I'm okay with it, but because I was getting sick, we've admitted. But Miro, I believe Miro, you're not beating Miro. The best move was when he just cannonballed and Miro just knocked him away and he blew off of him.
Dude, like Miro, Rusev, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, I hate Miro. The name Miro, best man Miro, I don't like it. It's yucky.
The day he debuted in the WWE from NXT, I remember vividly sitting on my couch talking to one of my friends while we were watching Raw, right? And I said, listen, I was like, this guy is going to be the biggest shit you ever see, because this dude has the moves, he can man, like, could you imagine being his size and moving around as fast as he moves? Like,
I actually am, and I can. So yes,
yeah, exactly.
yes.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like this, like that guy. And what I love about how AEW has built him is that he is a monster. He's a stone cold killer, and there ain't nobody gonna stop him anytime soon. And they just put him in this, like, they giving him that title is the best thing they ever did.
Well, let me cut into that. We booked him great so far. I don't know if we did book him great so far because he did get lost. But here's the thing I do like about Darby's promo against him. He called him out on it.
Yeah.
What have you done? You've run around with some video games and you're the best man. You're generic. He called him generic. And I was like, yeah, Miro, you are generic. What have you done? If you want to be the beast, great. It's great. It might have been one of those little story things we might have not, okay. We got to do this quick thing for a buddy, get this games thing over because we need to hype this AEW games thing. And, what's his face is all over that with Kenny and those guys. But now that Rusev's a legit beast again, and now we have this belt under someone that I'm go, ooh, I don't know. Listen, I don't know if you can beat Miro. Now I'm questioning again, and that's good. And that's good. Back in the day, in the territory days, here's the things we're doing different than the old territories. Darby would have been the championship for 3 years. The champion, that he'd have been the top championship in that promo. The world titles moved. I told you that. They have a home, but they move and they bless you with their presence. And boy, you send your best, your number one ranked or your champ up there to get it. And better yet, if you had a face and he was a heel, your territory would be visited more by him because he could work better that way. So them utilizing all that now is just from top down, man. I loved it, and then Miro going over the end, great. Brutalizing what's his face. Sting gets beat up. Is he with Scorpio Sky and Ethan? Ethan, the ego's edge is the greatest Razor's edge ever performed, though, by the way. And I think Scott Hall would agree with me if he's ever seen the ego's edge.
What I loved was the fact that that Lance Archer come out at the end of that match. Dude, the Murder Hawk monster versus Miro. Tell me that, dude, anywhere in the world you book that, I'm tuning in to watch it. I'll tell you right now, because that is going to be an insane match.
Listen,
that match is going to be.
Jake has been holding the Murder Hawk back for 2 years on Dynamite, folks. Eventually, you're going to give out, and the Hawk's going to kill somebody. And yeah, you're right. Miro and the Hawk is going to be great.
Yes,
let's go with that. Either way, I feel that the stakes. I wanted to tell everybody this. I felt like that this week's Dynamite was better than the WCW NWO days for me. The stakes feel higher. Oh my God, Orange Cassidy, we're going to elevate you into this triple threat with Pac and Kenny Omega. Oh, we just are going to give the nod to Orange Cassidy now. He's going to get his glasses back off Kenny. Oh,
you know why that happened?
Kenny ain't losing that belt. And I'm going to tell you this much: Pac's getting pinned. He ain't going out. They're all gonna make Orange look great. Is how I'm gonna predict that going down. Kenny will get the pin or the somehow on Pac is my prediction.
Did you know what happened with Orange Cassidy in that match?
I saw he got knocked out. Yeah.
So the reason that they stopped that match, because no matter what the logical ending was going to be, they were going to do a triple threat. But so whenever he gets powerbombed, he came down wrong, and he literally like smashed the top of his head. Like, dude, that was a bad. Like, that was scary. I was like, this guy.
I thought it was something off the turnbuckle.
No. Whenever Pac gives him that power bomb, that like small package power bomb or whatever it was. I don't know how the name of it is. Whenever he gives it to him, he hit the top of his head instead of the back of his shoulders,
like a destroyer, like the Canadian Destroyer.
No,
I'll watch it.
I'll power bomb. Okay. Yeah, it was a power bomb, but whenever he came down, he was up too far.
Well, listen, power bomb. We love power bombs, but there's a reason why Vince outlawed them. You know, and we know the stakes. We know the stakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. And Pac's not a guy to hurt people, man. He's stiff, but you could see it. He's that little
dude. He's
a bastard. He really gonna hurt me out there tonight.
Dude,
and I'm all about if we're fighting, you bring it. Don't do anything fake with me. You hit me hard, but don't really hit me too hard.
Yeah.
Sheesh. But I love that it turned into a triple threat because it just adds to the gloriousness of Kenny Omega.
We didn't talk about blood and guts.
Blood and guts. My thoughts on it. I loved it. This was the last 2 or 3, 4, 5 weeks of Dynamite. I love it. I love blood and guts. I wish that the cameraman was. I wish we didn't catch Jericho telling MJF, "Hey, dickhead, throw me off now." I wish we didn't see that. Give him the nod.
There was a lot that I saw that I wish we didn't see, like Jericho holding the blade, and whenever he was getting ready to tap. I wish I didn't see that because like Jericho's a seasoned professional that should not have been, we shouldn't have seen that. Whenever he's got him in the walls of Jericho and he taps his leg to hit him in the nuts, like, dude, that either the cameraman was really bad at just catching him.
No, that's bad. No, that's not the cameraman. That's bad production in the back. Okay. That's the guy. That's the guy in the back going camera. And he's not getting good communication, but they've always had these types of hell. The one episode we heard a basketball game, and I'm like, who's playing basketball next door to them? You know, there is some issues.
Yeah.
And I think that's more on the TNT back end side.
Yeah.
Because they do have these little snafus, but you know, when I look past a lot of them because I'm a fanboy and I also understand that like
it happens.
This is not WWE. You know what I mean? This ain't WCW either. It doesn't have trillions backing it, but we have, you know, and we're growing. Well, this is year 3.
You know, and my thing was like that bump off the top of the cage. Dude, if you're going to take
it was safe.
It was, and it needed to be safe. Don't get me wrong. Anytime that there's safety involved, like I'm all for being safe with this stuff because these guys really can hurt themselves to a point where they can't walk again.
I wish we would have built. I wish the safety wasn't in that box. I wish we could have that box up at the top part of that steps built into that stage that night. Put a carpet over it. We all could have walked out all night. And this is hindsight. You know what I mean? They probably rehearsed that a couple times. Fuck, Jericho's in his 50s. I don't want to hurt we hurt Jericho.
We're done.
We're hurting here. Our whole mid storyline, Jericho handles, you know, he's got his fingers in so many feuds with the factions here.
Yeah.
And hey, listen, either way, was it blood and guts? Was it bloody? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great. I love the match.
Personally. Oh my god, I was back in WCW glory. Like when you were afraid when someone had the advantage, I was like, oh, you got to go in and take your beating now. There's 2 guys gonna get you as soon as you go in. That's never a fun situation.
I just wish that whenever he took the bump off the top of the cage, they would have just cut away from it. They would have just made it like, oh my god, it's so bad. We just can't show it. We just can't show it. You know what I mean? Or something to that effect. And then once he was on the stretcher, then you kind of go, okay, well, here's Jericho's hurt. Maybe, you know, you don't know. I just wish that there was a little bit of smoke and mirrors involved in that instead of just you throw him off the cage, you see it, there's a bag there.
Yes, you know I agree. But let's say like, if this is like, I agree. But I don't want to. Here's what I like about that, though. I like that non-scripted, non-produced feel to it because it felt like we were all scrambled. You have to do that. You have to we don't know if folks, cameramans are going around. You hear some confusion. Anytime there's a mistake, it's okay to play up that confusion. Yeah. Folks, we don't know what's going on here. Someone, you know. There's a little bit of that, but you're right. If it's too much hard, too much holding on Jericho laying there. just talking like this. Yeah, guys, we're just
and he got like one eye open and he's like looking around,
you're selling the pain, but he's clearly talking. And you're talking to medics if you're not. They're asking you questions, and I can get a couple of that, but something did feel a little bit off. But here, listen. I'm MJF. I'm 22 years old. I'm throwing Chris Jericho off his cage. If I hurt Chris, I don't want to kill Chris Jericho.
No. And I get all that. Like 100%.
Hey, man, listen, I can't beg for the old days to come back. And then, like, if you're trying, in this case, the effort, you get an A+ for effort.
I think for me, what did it was the fact that, like, I paid for Revolution, right?
Yeah.
To see that match. You know what match I'm talking about? The exploding barbed wire bombs match, right? That was the biggest letdown to a match that I've ever seen. And I was just
the ending.
Like, wow, man. Huh?
The ending.
The ending was terrible. All the rest of it was fun.
Listen, the match was a 9 out of 10 match. If it had 10 sections, 9 of it was good.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Ending.
But I feel like when they do a big match like this, it always seems to fall short at the end. And that's why I get really upset about if I paying for a pay-per-view, right? It takes a lot for me to pay for a pay-per-view because I'm not. I know.
Yeah, but I don't.
Watch what I want to watch.
I understand that, but at that point, here's what I say to that. That was 30 seconds of a 3.5 hour pay-per-view when I loved every second of it. I'm not going to let, and maybe that's my mindset these days. I'm never going to let that 30 seconds at the end where I went, oof, oh, uh-oh. Because maybe it's because I'm in production and there's a lot of things like, Jason misspelled that. They needed, you know what I mean? I'm more forgiving.
Yeah.
But listen, it's a snafu. But here's the other thing. It would have been a $60 pay-per-view anywhere else.
Yeah.
Back in the day, McMahon went years putting out the same pay-per-view for $60 every month. These are $40.
Yeah.
And they're priced accordingly. If they were charging premium UFC rates, and they're not shoving one down my neck every month.
Yes, I agree with that.
So the stakes always feel bigger. But yeah, was it a piece of crap? Was it a big crap chocolate kiss on my cupcake? Yeah. Did I want my money back or get mad? No.
I didn't want my money back either.
Here's how I felt bad for Mox and Eddie because they had to sit there and sell it. Every year in New Japan Wrestling, you have the IWGP Cup, the New Japan Cup. The winner this year is who? His name is William Peter Charles Ospreay. All right? And what do you know about him?
I know that he's 28 years old and he has 21 titles under his belt already, which is insane, man. Like, I mean, obviously across different promotions, but still, that's a lot of gold to have on you at 28 years old. You know what I mean? Like, also, like, like he's married to Brie Priestley, which, I mean, that's okay. You know what I mean?
No, not after the cup, because he gave her a diamond cutter on his speech.
Oh,
Will Ospreay's one of the prototype wrestlers that I would say is a 10 out of 10 wrestler. It is because where he was trained. He has perfected a strong style in the ring. He takes dangerous bumps even on his majority of his moves, and I have a lot of his moves that I like that he does. I don't know if he could pull some of them off in an American ring. I'd have to ask some of my friends that are pro wrestlers here, because it looks like some of his moves require the mat to be springy at times.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's just a UK thing because the New Japan mat ain't like that. But he comes. There's a lot to say about his victory this year, but he has the built-in story that he climbed from the juniors to do this.
Yeah.
But so did Kenny. And Kenny was kind of the first. Kenny was the first Gaijin to win the G1, So like he's coming along now, but what Will Ospreay is probably the perfection of a British wrestler performing the strong style.
Yeah.
There is no one that understands character better.
No.
He comes from Lucha Britannia. And if you ever want to see the true roots of pro wrestling and the old vaudeville style from the carnival style, that would be Lucha Britannia would be kind of like that. It was a theater style, physical theater style where there'd be some wrestling, some comedy, some I don't know if like we would call it burlesque here, but I don't know if they would get down like it would be like cabaret, like the old like they'd take their stock. It would be like that, but it was very theater oriented. And you can hear the training when he's talking and he's putting out his character. Mm-hmm. And you can immediately grasp him. I also get tingles of a Wade Barrett from Will. But Wade, I was like, is Wade from this same place? No, Wade was just trained by Al Snow. And I love Wade Barrett, and I wish we'd see a lot more of him. I love the bad news. But, Will Ospreay, what do you want to know? Listen, walks away, but then did have a loss to Okada. But, he won the 2021 Cup. So, Will Ospreay, man, I don't know. Did you think I was going to hate him?
I did.
No, and I'll tell you this much: a lot of his moves are Kenny Omega moves.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah, I will tell you that much. Some of his ones I do like. Now, there's a lot of things I like about him. First of all, I love his theme music, because any music that has your name in it, then works into lyrics, then it's awesome. I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his moves that I like, he does a unique forearm like AJ Styles. It's not AJ Styles' forearm, but they do flying forearms different. They both do something unique that if you show me, if you would like just put them both in a sack or whatever and show them doing, I would know who's who from just how their motions are. He does a hesitation drop kick, which I would have to ask how my pro wrestling friends, how is that something? I don't see a lot of it because I don't know if it hurts. I don't know if it hurts. And that's why you don't see a lot of it, because I love hesitated late drop kick. I love them. He does one. He also does again, I'm not, I know a lot of real wrestling and I know a lot of pro wrestling, but it's some sort of roll through stunner.
Yeah.
A roll in or a roll through in the air flip stunner.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He takes that, and now this is what I'm talking about. I don't know about longevity. He takes that bump right on his tailbone, and I watch it. And I don't know. I don't know if that hurts, but he bounced. Now, then he also does one in the corner, and he bounces. But he'll bounce when he hits these this high off the mat. It doesn't seem right to me. And I don't know if sometimes they put spring in the corner for him to do that. I don't know. But it's like my mind's going, how does he do some of this? He also has one of the best corkscrew. He does those corkscrew leg kicks like I don't know what they are. He'll do some crazy ass kick and kick you right in the head and make it look like $1 million.
Yeah, he does. I watched I mean, obviously I've watched more Will Ospreay matches than just these, but these are the three that I watched recently just to kind of catch myself back up on Mr. Ospreay. I watched a Ricochet versus Will Ospreay match. I don't know if you ever seen it. It was like in 2017.
I did not. No.
It is absolutely amazing. I did not know that Ricochet was as good of a wrestler as he was. As he is, because in WWE he is not booked like that.
No, that's what I mean.
Dude, but he is so watered down, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like him and Will Ospreay, like they do that performance, and I gotta say, like it was like watching. I'm not a big ballet guy, but like if you're gonna put it in perspective, like that was like watching Swan Lake. Those two guys just did shit that like was like so fluid and just so perfect.
If I add music to a wrestling match and choreograph it to the bumps, I bet you wouldn't know the difference between ballet and true wrestling.
I wouldn't. I
And
probably
anybody that argues, I don't think a pro wrestler would argue with I make that statement because entertainment is entertainment and it is a dance.
It just like if that like I want you like if you've never seen that match, you should go watch that match because it like the poetry and motion that they have is just so good. How they do it is just so incredible. Like I mean, like one will hit like this crazy flip, and the other one will be like flipping in another direction, like it hit another move. Like and it's like well, who took the hit here?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like who actually got hurt here? Like or supposedly got hurt here. And then like obviously like the Rey Mysterio Will Ospreay match. That's a huge one for me because like that's like his idol was Rey Mysterio.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And then Rey Mysterio.
He wrestles. Here's the thing. He absolutely wrestles nothing like Rey Mysterio, nor does he show any signs of.
No.
He's more Nakamura than he's the white Nakamura, the British Nakamura more than anything else. In my opinion, in my humble.
Well, like him and I watched the match where him and Rey Mysterio had like they have their match. Rey Mysterio is so impressed by.
Where was this at?
I don't remember.
Where was he at to do this?
I don't remember. I want to say it was in the UK. I want to say it was in the UK. But he was so impressed that he of like how well he wrestled. He actually pins Rey Mysterio as well, and he wins. Rey Mysterio gives him his mask that he wrestled in. Just gives him the mask, like you know what I mean, like to honor him, like as his idol too, and like that is like anytime that like somebody as legendary as like Rey Mysterio like does something off the cuff that like he didn't have to do that. He didn't it wasn't written into the script like, oh, Rey Mysterio is going to give you this mask at the end of this match. He did it because he was like he's genuinely like this guy is he's on that level. He's on a level where I feel like
it's Ray's job. It's Ray's job to pass the torch.
Well, it is. It is
to the next generation. So it's all of our jobs to pass that torch.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that but for Rey Mysterio and like the level that he's wrestled at in his career, to realize that having a wrestling match with somebody this was supposed to be like their first match they ever had together. So it wasn't like the two of them knew each other for years and wrestled all kinds of whatever. You know what I mean? Like to do that, I think that shows, number one, it shows Rey Mysterio's character, and number two, it shows just how well or how good that Will Ospreay is.
Yeah, no, I like everything about him. Is the question relating to this last episode? Is he better than Kenny Omega? Is I believe the question that you wanted to put out there.
Yes, he is.
I don't know how. Other than opinion, I don't know how to quantify that. I do know that I think Okada is better. Do you think Okada? I think Okada is better than Will Ospreay.
No,
I think
no.
I think Naito's better. I think
Naruto.
I think Naruto. Yeah, what is it? Naito's better. I think Ibushi's better.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, is he? Listen, I think in another 5 to 10 years, if he doesn't kill himself, he's gonna really. His best is yet. My point is, his best is yet to come. I'm not.
I think so too.
Listen, in 10 years, I might eat my words and say he's way better than Kenny. Does he have potential? Yes, not there yet though. I don't know if we can make that comparison.
I would like to see him and Kenny Omega fight.
If you think Rey Mysterio is a legend and you dare say negative about Kenny Omega, put the beard back on, for crying out loud. What did while you were shaving that beard earlier? Did you get some hair in your ear and some brain leak out? You're a guy that's going to get emotional about Mick Foley's stinky flannel, and you don't give Kenny, by God, Omega 1 ounce of credit. He has 4 world titles, and you're going to say,
hold on.
How many titles does Will Ospreay hold right now?
So
Anyway,
let's clear the air here for a second.
we're running
Partner.
super long in this episode,
All
so
right,
let's
all
cut
right.
to the trivia so we can wrap
All right.
this up. Folks, we've decided that every other week we're going to hit each other with 5 wrestling trivia questions and keep score. So far, he has 0 points. I'm getting my 5 this week. See what happens next week. Well, I'll have 5 more questions for him. So see how we're doing this?
Wrestling trivia time.
All right. Give me question 1. I'm ready. No
Where was
Googling,
Mr.
hands up. Listen, no Googling, hands up. Oh,
Where was Mr. Fuji born?
Mr. Fuji is Hawaiian.
Okay, you got 1.
Hey, Gamer! What'd you think I was gonna say? No, Mr. Hawaiian. Yeah, he's Hawaiian. Hawaiian. Yes,
What
and Vince is
former-
Vince is a racist. So is that your second question? That's part 2. Yeah.
What former manager coined the phrase pencil deck geek?
Classy Freddie Blassie.
2.
That 2? You hate it right now. You're like, stupid, easy questions. Dude, those aren't easy questions, right?
It's the Royal Rumble 96. Diesel just cost me to become the heavyweight champion. Who am I?
The Royal Rumble 96. Diesel
Yep.
just cost me the world champion. Am I the... Okay, wait a minute. Him, Bret Hart, and Undertaker were in a triangle. Oh, I forget who won. Bret Hart, oh, shit. He cost the Undertaker.
You're right.
Yeah! 3 for 3, baby. See, right now, people don't listen. Did you cheat? Are you cheating? Did I know these?
No.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You didn't even know what I wrote down.
All right, number 4.
What were the members of the Insiders from 2000 to 2001?
Kevin Nash and DDP.
You got it.
Number 4 for 4. All right, number 5. Folks, can I sleep? Matt, are you having the time of your life on this podcast?
Oh, yeah. Who was the only female member of the corporate ministry?
The corporate ministry was when Vince revealed that he was the whole thing. Oh, was it China? Or...
Yep.
Yeah.
5 for 5.
Yeah, he was the mysterious darkness. Then it was revealed to be Vince, and we really didn't kidnap Stephanie. And then, but Triple H was there, and he brought China.
Yep.
Boom! 5 for 5, folks. Let me tell you something. If any of you ever doubt my extensive knowledge of pro wrestling, it just doesn't end there. It's all of entertainment, because pro wrestling, that's what it is. I just a mastermind of it. This is proof. Am I right? You'll have your 5 questions next week.
All right.
And right now, folks, the score is Matt. What do you have? How many do you have?
0.
Okay, how many do I have?
5.
That's a sweep, right? I had a blast filming this with you today. I want to tell you thank you for what you bring to the show and to the channel. And you also did a great job on the PVGA news. I showed it to everybody. They said he did good, but he looked like he was a little bit nervous. Were you nervous filming that?
Yeah.
I heard you were nervous there. Don't worry. We have a good director there to help you through that. So I guess he did his job as well. But you did good. We're looking forward to hearing more out of it. I guess you have some scoops on the championships belts coming, but
we can't talk about none of that.
No, we can't talk about it anyway, folks. If you want to find out any more information on us and you want to hear more, please like, subscribe, is there a bell? Like, do they have to click the Liberty bell? Click the bell. I don't even know what the bell does, but click it. Okay. And then click it or ticket is what I always say. Folks, you can find me in all various places. There's so many. Just look around. I hate like telling people. That's the part I hate about this. I don't want to do that sticky YouTube. I just want to say, Matt, say what we say when we're leaving.
Game on.
That's it. That's how you want to say it.
I'm just gonna say,
just like with any, you just want to just game on.
Just game on.
Just game on, huh?
Game on. Now we got to do it right.
You want to really bring it? All right, man. Game
on.
All right. Did you hit your computer?